Robert Mann attended Coleman ISD from kindergarten up until his graduation from Coleman High School in 1963. Growing up, Bob worked several jobs around town. He had a paper route for Mr. Autry after school where he delivered newspapers to homes for a nickel, pocketing 2 cents each. He sacked groceries for Clyde McClellan at JRB Market and worked summers at Camp Tonkawa. He was a lifeguard at the Coleman County Country Club and worked at First Coleman National Bank. He grew up immersed in the Coleman community. Bob was also very active in the Boy Scout program. He was selected for the Honor Scout Order of the Arrow in 1961, awarded the Eagle Scout in 1962, and awarded Visual Honor Order of the Arrow in 1964. At age 15, he attended the National Jamboree in Colorado Springs. In 1960, Bob was one of 5 boys from the Chisholm Trail Council selected to go to Austin to report to state and meet Governor Price Daniel. That same year, he also attended the Scout Jamboree in Colorado Springs, where he listened to President Eisenhower give the address. As an adult, Bob continued his involvement in scouting by becoming the scout leader in Round Rock, Texas. He was troop chairman for 4 years and an adult leader for 2 Philmont Scout Ranch backpacking trips in Cimarron, New Mexico. He also led his troops on canoe trips on the Buffalo, Rio Grande, and Pecos rivers. He volunteered as fundraising chair for the district's Friends of Scouting, Capital Area Council in Austin, and held that position for many years. In 1999, Bob was awarded the Silver Beaver by the Capital Area Council, the highest award given to leaders on a council level. Following his graduation from Coleman High School, Bob attended the University of Texas in Austin, earning a degree in chemistry. He pursued a chemistry degree because of the positive influence he received in his high school chemistry class, taught by Mrs. Blanton. His university studies were interrupted following his 3rd year when he received his invitation from Uncle Sam to enlist. He commenced to serve in the Navy from 1966 until 1970. He served as an enlisted aviation support electrical specialist assigned to a fighter squadron stationed in Pensacola in San Diego aboard the USS Ranger aircraft carrier. He was aboard the USS Ranger off the coast of Vietnam in 1969 and 1970. He never touched soil in Vietnam, but nearly went swimming in the Gulf of Tonkin as his jet exhaust lifted him up and threw him over the side of the ship, where, fortunately, he was caught in the safety net. He was honorably discharged in 1970. After 4 years in the Navy, with a wife and daughter at home, it was an easy choice for him to return to UT and make straight A's and graduate. Bob credits his life work to one person, his high school chemistry teacher, Mrs. Juanita Blanton. She excited him with her instruction and passion for chemistry. After graduation from the University of Texas in 1972, Bob went to work for Radian Corporation, working in a lab and performing analyses for industrial facilities. His career at Radian spanned 24 years. His work in identifying trace elements in environmental samples directly led to Radian becoming a leader in environmental analysis. He later led environmental characterization studies at power plants, chemical plants, and industrial facilities. Bob's work didn't always confine him to analyzing data in the lab. He also excelled as a stack sampler. He and his team would climb to near the top of an industrial plant stack and insert samplers and monitors to collect data. The tallest stack Bob ever climbed was over 300 feet tall, the equivalent of a 28-story building. He left Radian and went to work for the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality, writing air permits to allow companies to operate with pollution limits. Bob retired in 2010, but not before being presented a national award for lifetime dedication by the Source Evaluation Society. Recently, he was recognized by the American Chemical Society for his 50-year membership. In 2012, Bob began working with the Coleman High School Alumni Association. Bob has served as a reunion chairman and a treasurer, as well as key organizer of the Annual Alumni Golf Tournament to raise funds for scholarships. Bob has devoted an enormous amount of time and energy to ensure the ongoing viability and growth of the CSH Alumni Association. During his time, the CHS Alumni Association has awarded scholarships to 24 Coleman High School students, totaling $91,000. His endeavors have undoubtedly contributed to the future success of Coleman ISD students. It is now my pleasure to introduce Bob Mann as a 2024 Coleman ISD Hall of Honor inductee. Bob, please come up and accept your award.
To all of you, I say welcome, thank you, friends, Romans, and food cats. I wasn't born in Coleman, I was born in Dallas while my dad was in med school. I moved here when I was probably 3 or 4. We lived beside Hufford Field on 5th Avenue and 6th Street. And we had several other homes around the area. I was in Mrs. Rich's kindergarten class, and she disciplined me well. I never had a chance to be disciplined by the CHS staff ever, or the junior high, or the elementary school. Many things I remember about Coleman, but as a young kid, I had a paper route, and I would go meet in the alley behind the paper office and pick up my newspapers, distribute them down the west side. Is that the west? Yeah, the east side of Commercial. And I remember distributing paper to Dean Beard, and get my nickel every Tuesday and Thursday, as well as Mrs. Grace Mangum. I think she was on 2nd Street over. But anyway, I had approximately 35 papers, which meant I made approximately 70 cents each Tuesday and Thursday. It was a long walk, and I went down to see Doc Hilbert at Western Auto, and he had the most beautiful Swin bike. And I said, Doc, can I buy that? And he said, sure. And I said, how much? And he said, what have you got? And I said, not much. And he said, what do you make? And I told him. He said, well, I want you to pay me 25 cents a week. And I said, yes, sir. So that was my first opportunity to pay something out on credit. I had many other wonderful memories of Coleman from all the school activities. I enjoyed scouting. My scout masters were Audrey Baker and Bill Stevenson. Bill taught me so much, and I'm so appreciative of the skills that he gave to me. But more than anybody else, as I said, Ms. Blanton made the impression on me. And she knew how to phrase something and get your attention with excitement and joy, and she just had me from the start. I went to UT to get a degree. I got diverted and came back and finally finished. And I proudly wear the burnt orange color. I wear a little Red Raider color too now. We all change with time. Scouting was very interesting, and I enjoyed it both as a boy and as a dog. My parents were members of the Methodist Church here. My parents thought that I should have a perfect attendance award every year. So I think from age 2 until to age 18, I had a perfect attendance award every year. And that was a major factor in my development. Scouting, work. I loved chemistry. I went to work in a lab, and I think your handout said I was a chemical engineer. No, I was a chemist, a lab chemist, and I loved it. I did many other things. I'm on the water board here now. We've got about 2,800 customers, and if I was to tell you how much water we sold, if you can picture Hufford Field from end zone to end zone and sideline to sideline, and fill it about 670 feet deep in water, that's how much water we sell a year to the members of Coleman County. So that is a very important thing that I really love doing. I can't think of anything else to say. I've got my family here. My daughter Terry, there was a picture of her when I was in the Navy. She was probably 6 months old when I came back from Vietnam. My son Richard, I've got 11 members of the family, including my brother Bill, 2 grandsons and their girls, Ryan and Lily, Drew and Madison. Terry's husband, Mark. Richard's girlfriend is Divya. It's been a wonderful weekend. So I want to say, number one, David Williams got me involved in the Alumni Association to work with the golf tournament. And I appreciate the time I've had with him. Bob Tyson, I would go down and mow Dad's office, and Bob always had an ice cream cone or something over there, a Coke for me to have. Miss Blanton was my favorite. And Randy, you have a lovely wife. But I've enjoyed your voice for a long time. So anyway, with nothing else to say, I just want to say thank you so much. It is quite an honor, so I appreciate it.